Oh, oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Reef, and here with my partner, the visionary, the revolutionary, the Sith legend, Darth Cyro. Cyro, how
What
are we
an
doing today?
intro! What an intro! How epic of an honor that is. Thank you so much. I
You
appreciate
can tell
that.
we were excited about the return.
Thank you so
can't
much.
you?
Seth Rollins was my favorite wrestler back since the Authority days. Okay, let's be real. He was my absolute favorite. So thank you. That was a wonderful intro and a very honorable intro for me specifically. Oh, he is just perfect. Thank you so much for that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our show today. Thanks so much.
Man, listen, dude, we got a lot to talk about. A lot happened on Monday Night Raw. Some good things happened on Friday Night Smackdown. They picked up the pace a little bit on Friday Night Smackdown last week. So we have a lot to talk about, and we're going to give you guys our preview for Bad Blood. But starting with
Monday Night
the
Raw.
Cyro,
Ooh.
kick us off.
Let's go. So,
Standing match.
you know, when I thought that we were going to have this last monster standing match and we were going to see Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman fight each other, I asked you, who do you think is going to win? And I said it was going to be Braun Strowman. And I'm happy to say that I was right. Now, why I was right, how I became right, and how wonderful that was, I'll leave that to you to talk about a little bit. But what did you think about Braun Strowman? Let's go. That's fantastic.
So, man, listen, before we even get to how that ended, man, we got to talk about the absolute chaos and debauchery that went down in that match. That was ruthless aggression type of match right there, dude. They injured fans. They
took out a rope.
There's a point in time where Braun Strowman, who has no business being on the top rope of the turnbuckle of anything, jumps out of the ring from the turnbuckle and lands on like 30 security guards.
At least 20 guys there.
Laid out. Everyone is just laid out. There are bodies everywhere. They break the ring. They break barricades. They just immediately went into exactly what I think we all anticipated, which was going to be just nothing but destruction. Everything was breakable there. And it was insane when they went into the crowd.
When they broke the first barricade, I was crazy.
Guards, bro, they're running to go help the fans. The fans are looking like shocked and hurt and injured. And it was, oh my goodness. Nobody was safe when those monsters went at it. And then the climax, the ending, when all was lost for Braun Strowman. Bronson Reed was getting up to his feet on the staircase. And in comes the visionary. Mind you, so I'm watching this. I want to paint a picture for you guys. I'm watching in my living room. And my living room wall where the TV is shared by my father's bedroom, who is sleeping, right? And I'm not trying to wake him up. So I was whisper screaming. I'm like... I was trying to maintain my energy. I'm running around in circles around the couch, bro. I was going crazy. I lost it. And he stomps Bronson Reed's head into the steel steps. And Braun Strowman gets to his feet and is the last monster standing, man. I can't say I'm disappointed with the outcome necessarily, because obviously we got the return of Seth Rollins. I wanted Bronson Reed to win. But I have a question for you. Where does this leave Bronson Reed? He went on this huge, trailblazing, like he blazed the trail where he was just gonna murder everybody, right? And then he ends up defeated in the biggest match. What happens with him from here?
I think he kills Seth Rollins. That's what I think he wants to do. I think he's going to go after Rollins now. But
do you think he can beat Seth Rollins like in a legit one-on-one wrestling match?
I don't. I think he would stumble over himself. No offense to Bronson Reed, he's an absolute monster, but Rollins is way too fast and way too smart for him. So I would say that he goes after Seth Rollins. He tries to kill Rollins. But the part that I like and the part that happened right before Rollins came out was when they both went to the top rope on the far right corner. and the ring exploded.
Oh yeah. I mean, you kind of had a feeling it was gonna happen. Everything else was destroyed. They tore off the turnbuckle the week prior. They went through drywall. They went through cars. Like the ring was the last piece. What I was surprised by was them destroying the barricade to the fans. The
second
timekeeper's
barricade, yeah.
makes sense. That happens in like every single episode now. But the one towards the fans, that was new. That was exciting. That was awesome. But the whole point of Bronson Reed's like chaotic like attack here was for a title. He obviously didn't earn the title shot. So like that's why I'm a little confused. I don't know. I mean, maybe he has to beat Seth Rollins now to earn a title shot or something. I don't know.
I don't know what the motivation of Rollins is in this. I can't wait to know why Rollins is doing this. Is it because
he got destroyed by
Bronson? Because he hates Bronson? That's the whole thing? That's it?
Bro, Bronson made him bleed from his mouth. He had him coughing up blood on live television.
But it's too late for bad blood.
But Seth Rollins was en route to getting another title shot. Like he was literally like that promo when we were watching that segment that we saw before Bronson Reed came out and destroyed him was Seth Rollins was gearing up to go back after the title, if you don't recall that, right? He wanted to re-lock in and focus. So same as CM Punk. And so we were going to see feuds between CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, all of that stuff. And it was going to ultimately climax in the eventual title chance.
Yeah.
That was taken away from Rollins by Bronson.
So now,
I don't know why he did that. They got to settle. Now they have to settle.
I just don't get it. Yeah, I get it. It was to me the beginning of the feud was empty, but it is what it is. I hope they settle it soon. I want to see Rollins come out on top of whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I think it just ends with somebody has to find a way to get this title shot. Bronson Reed wanted that title really badly. And so we'll see which title he kind of goes after. Speaking of titles on Raw, that takes us to our next segment here, man. And I know you're a title guy. So we had last Monday on Raw, we had the celebration for Jey Uso.
Yeet. Let's go. When he was out in the concessions with the fans and obviously his son, which was amazing.
Awesome.
That was like dream, like father-son goal for me. Like that's a goal. That's a dream goal. Yeet. So when he was out there and he started waving a title around, I don't know if you saw him flailing around like that. That I saw the blue. I saw the
you're
blue
a guy, dude. That's a big deal for you because that was a fans thing, right?
Right. Yeah. So just so our audience knows, number one, we love our WWE. We love our epic storylines, but I personally really love our titles. I love our championship titles. I have a long and storied history documenting at least the history of the championship titles, and I'm a collector and I love them. And seeing new designs and seeing how they play with the champion that currently holds the title is probably one of my favorite things to see. And so we got a new tweak on that IC title. And when I saw the blue, and the tweak was, for those that don't memorize the titles like I do, which is perfectly acceptable, the title is gold and black, and the oceans on the globes are represented by black paint on the previous title. And in this title, they went out with this beautiful, almost Carolina blue. It's a very light ocean blue, and they colored all the oceans on the around the continents in the globes with that baby blue or that.
Which is nice because Uso has the blue shades and everything. Like he does.
It fits the heat.
Guy. He's a blue.
Right?
It fits the heat.
And you saw him saying it. They blued me. He said that. So he knew. So I saw it. I loved it. And I'll tell you, that title, outside of our programming, it's been all over. It's been all over social media for the past year. People have been making their mock-ups that fans want to see that kind of a title, and they did. And I think we've seen it now with the change, and I thank Jey Uso for bringing it to us on Monday. It was a fantastic kind of reveal to that new title. And
I'm excited for his run.
I will say one thing to leave us. I didn't love the fact that Braun came out and gave him the respect and did all that stuff.
Why not?
I like Braun. I like Braun to be more of the dickhead he's used to being. I like Braun Breaker as a dickhead. Okay, Braun Breaker makes a great dickhead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry, he just does. Braun Breaker makes a fantastic asshole. That's what he does. He's good at it.
Oh my god,
So-
that is a crazy soundbite.
Right. So okay. So and I like Braun Breaker. That's nothing on him, but I just think that he needs a little bit of time before he can get there. So in any case,
Sure.
this past this
Should make a good
past
rivalry.
week- yeah. I agree. So this past week we saw one of your favorite champions, Mr. LA Knight, get involved in a match between Andrade and Carmelo. Melo.
Match number 6.
Right? This is a
Match number
series,
6.
right? We're on 6 now. Is that it was
Yeah,
3-3,
we're
right?
6
Yeah,
now.
it's 3-3 now.
It
So
was
they made
3-3
it
now,
3.
correct.
They made it 3-3 on their 6-part series so far. What do you think?
So, number 1, Melo, genius. He's him. And anyone that wants to disrespect Melo from the number 1 pick in the draft, yeah, you got to learn ball. You don't know ball. Because Melo knows what he's doing. The genius in him to attack LA Knight prior to the match, right? Then go out there knowing that, hey, LA Knight now is, number 1, probably going to interfere here. A distracted, there's some tension between Andrade and LA Knight. So if I get LA Knight to come out, Andrade is going to be upset about him being around and sniffing around his business, which is exactly what happened. That's how Melo was able to capitalize and win with the roll up. And on the second point too is this could set up an easy if LA Knight takes the bait. It can easily set up a championship match for Melo now. It can kind of fast track him to a chance at a title, which if LA Knight's not careful, Melo's very cunning. And as we saw in match number 6, extremely athletic. I mean, he had some moves that, dude, insane moves that he did there. And
yeah, he's agile. He's agile as shit.
Oh my god, dude, the little like reversal from the suplex on the top rope to oh my god, Melo's him. He's him. And he's the future star of the WWE. I could see him being the top guy in the WWE. He's got the charisma.
Yeah.
He's got the moveset. He's got the wit to him.
He's a hell of a performer.
Smart. He's awesome. Melo he's up there. Better than Andrade. Listen, Andrade, I have a lot of respect for Andrade as a wrestler, but man, is he better than Andrade right now? And I'll tell you what, they might be tied in this series, and this series might go 45 matches. It might go 7 matches. I don't know. But what I do know is Melo's going to end up on top. He's going to win this. He's going to be the better man by the end of all of this.
That's a nice take. I like that take. And you know what? I'm going to go with you on that take.
Really? I'm surprised.
I like Carmelo a lot. I like Carmelo a lot.
WWE community. We're going against the grain here. A lot of people aren't going to be very supportive of our take here because, again, I just think Andrade has a lot of aura too. Like that entrance that he has, people love it. You know, the lights coming out from him and he's taking off the mask and it's magical. It looks all magical and stuff. And he's big buff guy that can do a lot of crazy stuff. They love Andrade, but I'll tell you, man, Melo's the man. He's him.
I'll tell you what. I'm still following. I'm still following his adversary from NXT Stand and Deliver earlier this year, Trick Williams. Congratulations to him for re-winning the title last night. I will say that's why I love Carmelo, because I know what he can do. I've seen him do it. He is fantastic. Yep. Let's go with Carmelo for sure.
So, all right, I like that. We're on the same page right now. That's not. I don't think it happens too often, but it happens.
Doesn't happen so often, though.
When it does happen, I think we're going to be on the right side of history here. We're going to be ahead of the wave here with that one. Staying on the SmackDown topics here while we're here on SmackDown. Me and you discussed this last week. Now, on SmackDown, there was a match that was made kind of on the spot where you had Randy Orton open the show, which was awesome. Love to see Randy open up a SmackDown. Fantastic. He calls out Cody Rhodes to explain himself for teaming up with Roman Reigns. Again, love that. There was that moment where he says, there's no problem at all. He responds to Cody. He tells him, hey, I have no problem at all unless you make it a problem. And Kevin Owens' music hits. We thought we would see maybe a conversation here that can settle things or maybe escalate things, but then Solo and company and the Bloodline come out to interrupt. Then this is when we see the tension. It starts to begin where They offer that Kevin Owens challenges Solo and Jacob Fatu to a tag team match. Cody Rhodes tries to stick his nose in it, and Kevin Owens shuts it down. Talk to me a little bit how you feel about are we getting closer? Is this ever going to happen? Are we going to see Kevin Owens turn on Cody finally? Your prediction was Bad Blood. I don't know if you still have that same prediction.
You know what, man? I can only hope that it's Bad Blood because I just want something to break the boredom I have from Cody. It's killing me.
Yeah, dude, he's not fun, man. He's not
the
fun.
only thing that keeps my blood moving during a Cody segment is the fact that he wears the title that I wish was around the waist of someone else. So I'll say, like, when he went to the locker room, and he tried to talk to Kevin, and Kevin said, "Yeah, like, we do need to talk, but not this second. I'm focused on something." You could tell Kevin is not just saying not now. He's just
set up.
He's a little spiteful about the fact that, like, it's not, why is this Cody's show? Cody this, Cody that, and maybe part of me believes in what Kevin's feeling right now, which is you can't, we talk a lot about Roman Reigns and how much, I felt that maybe sometimes his intent is conflicted. I would say Cody is starting to give me conflicted intent too, because it's just way too fast for him, and he doesn't know which direction to go in. Is he going to be Roman's friend now? Is he still hesitant? Is he like, you can be friends with someone, with two people who don't like each other, but what you can't do is pretend like you don't recognize that it exists. And right. I think Cody's trying to sweep it under the rug a little bit, and he's trying to make it like, I'm going to control the conversation. We need to talk about this. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I hope Kevin Owens hits him with a chair in the back of the head when during that bloodline.
I don't think that's happening.
I just really wish it does. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that these guys are going to go at it sometime?
I'm hoping so. Like I said, I miss the Kevin Owens I could be proud to watch. I was excited to watch the prize fighter that didn't care who stood in his way, was going to beat down everyone. We got in this softy, this guy that just wants to be friends with people, not really attack for these titles and not really work his ass off to make things happen. And I want to see Cody back. And Cody messed up the match. I mean, listen, if Cody doesn't interfere, and I know Randy asked him to come out and do it, but if Cody doesn't interfere, which he's not very experienced in doing a good job of doing that, if he doesn't do that, I think Randy Orton and Kevin Owens win that match. He messed everything up. And the moment in the end where they're headbutting each other pretty much, they're like head to head, really jawing at each other. Randy had to come in and settle things. Hey, I told him to come out, and then they end with a hug. You can tell that it's more so like, okay, I respect Randy, so I'm going to hug you. I'm going to let it go under the bridge. But it's boiling up inside, and it's going to happen. When it happens, that I don't know. I would love to see it happen at Bad Blood. I think that would be the perfect place for it to happen. That's a statement place to make it happen. And I think that's when it should go down for Kevin Owens. He should do it, pull the trigger, and just rid yourself of that shadow that Cody casts on you and become the main eventer that you once were.
I hope so, but I sadly regret to tell you I don't think that's what's going to happen. So to leave you with my prediction on this, I think that actually Kevin Owens turns his back against Randy Orton. And I'll tell you why. Because Randy Orton is the reason that Cody Rhodes had permission to come out during that segment. If you recall, the end of the locker room segment was that that Randy said, "Listen, I know, Cody, I know that Kevin's a little upset, Cody, but if stuff goes haywire out there, I need you to be out there and back our shit up." And you know what? Cody did what Randy asked. And so I think Owens needs to watch the tape, and Owens needs to know that you don't call the shots, and you could be mad, and you should be, and he should hit Cody in the back of the head. But at the end of the day, Cody should come out and he should say, "Look at the tape, okay? You're not the one who calls the shots. I came out to help, and I was asked to help." So I say we see Kevin and Randy go against each other sometime in the near future as a swerve from this current.
You threw me a curveball with that. I'm not gonna lie. You threw me a curveball. I'm not so sure that he's mad enough at Randy Orton for that.
He should be, because he's the reason Cody came out.
Yeah, but Cody should have listened to Kevin Owens when he.
Why wouldn't he listen to Randy Orton?
Because he has the tension with Kevin Owens, so he should be more cognizant of how Kevin Owens feels at the moment.
Fair.
And Randy would respect that as well. I
That's a
don't
fair
think
point.
that he's mad enough at Randy. But hey, listen, you switched up your prediction now, so now I get to take ownership. If it goes down at Bad Blood, I get to take ownership of that prediction. I was right, you were wrong. So just letting you know, those are the rules. You have officially changed your stance, and you don't think he's gonna turn on Cody at Bad Blood.
I hope he does, but I think that Cody is going to tell him, direct your attention at Randy, watch the tape. I'm telling you, I think that that's how Cody's going to get out of it. So I think both things happen, but it is what it is. I don't think that you ever see. I don't think Owens is going to get a title shot against Cody again. I don't think we're going to see that. That's not something that the people want to see. Something people do want to see this coming Monday is what was made this past Monday, where finally Gunther has the ring general he has accepted Sami's challenge once and for all, and he said, and I quote, "You want the match? You got the match." What do you think's going to happen on October 7th when they go against each other? Does Sami win the World Heavyweight title on the 7th of October?
No, exactly what happened before he officially gave him the match is what's going to happen at Monday Night Raw on October 7th. He's going to put him to sleep. And listen, Sami, I love you, man. I think you're awesome. I don't think you understand how much you need to put up for this title. I think you're still on that high of I beat Gunther. And Sami's the kind of guy that needs that chip on his shoulder, right? And I don't think he has it right now because I think he has a lot of confidence because he's beaten Gunther before. You could see it in him. He goes out like no one's business to go and interrupt Gunther and keep demanding this match from Gunther. Like he has all this hubris from a match that happened in April at WrestleMania. Like that was long ago, and that was for an Intercontinental title that, let's be honest, Gunther was tired of even carrying. He's put enough prestige into it. He was over it. He wanted something new. Sami said something that bothered me. He said that Gunther, after he beat him, didn't do anything and like was tucking his tail. Gunther was chasing a bigger title. Gunther went and won King of the Ring. Gunther went and then beat the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, put him to sleep. Gunther then defended his title against Randy. Gunther's been busy. I don't understand what Sami was saying when he said that. I just felt like he's making up history. Like, oh, Gunther had to immediately come out the very next Raw after Mania and go and start challenging other people and doing other things. Like, no, he didn't want a rematch with you. He didn't want that title back. He held it for 666 days. Astaghfirullah. He held it for 666 days, man. He didn't need that title again. So I think it's an easy prediction, an easy enough prediction for me. I think it's simply going to be Gunther is going to put Sami Zayn to sleep. He is the better wrestler. I don't want to say Sami got lucky, but I think Sami had a lot more to gain than Gunther by winning that title, which put that chip on his shoulder, and he needed that chip on his shoulder. Gunther has a lot more to lose with this title run here, because if he loses it in his second title defense against Sami Zayn, a guy who lost to at Mania, he knows that his father might never talk to him again. His father
at that point, it's
losing
not
to a
just going
bum
to be
twice.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to just be a scolding. It's going to be a break of the relationship.
I mean, we might see Gunther's dad join the WWE and beat his ass.
That would be great.
You know, I just like I said, I think when Gunther knows he has something to do, that something has to get done, he knows it, and he doesn't have like there's enough pressure on him. He's gonna succeed. Gunther's gonna take this one. He's gonna put him to sleep. It's over. It's over, Sami. I'm sorry to tell you. I think his eyes are gonna be on Braun Breaker next. We saw that little stare down. You remember? So they had their little moment backstage where Braun Breaker was admiring the World Heavyweight title, and Gunther, he showed up how he was mocking how big Braun Breaker was when he walked away. I love Gunther, man. He's the best. We also let's take you back to Royal Rumble before Mania, right? The Royal Rumble before Mania. We had them both in the ring. This was back when Braun wasn't on the main roster yet. And Braun was ready to break everyone in sight. And then he had that stare down with Gunther. And I was screaming my ass off. I was like, this is going to be the match that takes the title, that takes the Intercontinental Championship away from Gunther. But I might have just had the wrong championship. Who knows?
Oh, shit.
I might have been the wrong championship.
Braun Breaker and Gunther make a nice matchup.
I was screaming at some point when they had that face off in the Mania. All right, Royal Rumble, excuse me. So I'm excited to see how that goes. That's gonna be fun to see
that's a smart take. That's a good take.
Yeah. I honestly, like I said, when I thought it was going to be for the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn had other plans. But now that Gunther's a champion once again, and we know Braun has the interest in the World Heavyweight Championship, that's something that we might be overlooking. So I'm honestly already kind of looking past this match with Sami Zayn. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking past this match.
Wow, that's big to hear from you, knowing that you're a Sami fan.
I'm a big Sami fan. I'm a big Sami fan. I love the guy, but I just don't think he's where he needs to be. I don't think he has a big enough chip on his shoulder. Don't think he's taking this. I think he just feels a little overly confident, and I don't think he needs to feel that way. Sticking with Raw, arguably the biggest moment outside of the main event that happened.
Yep.
For the first time in a long time, we haven't seen something like this happen in a long time, right? The New Day both had singles matches, right? We obviously know we've talked about this for the last 2 weeks now. We've talked about this. This is the third week in a row we've talked about this.
This is the third week. Yep.
I think it's one of the most interesting storylines in all of wrestling right now because of just the longevity of that group. But Xavier Rhodes is still quarterbacking. We talked about how he was insecure around Rey Mysterio apologizing to him, and they set up a match. They had their match today. Or Monday, excuse me. They had their match on Monday. And Kofi had his match against Chad Gable. So New Day both had singles matches here. What happened with the first match was insane. Xavier Woods won that match. And Kofi lost his match. How they lost them and how they won them is pretty insane to hear.
Yep.
Xavier Woods rips off Rey Mysterio's mask, and in all of the chaos that ensued from there, rolls him up into a pin. 1, 2, 3. Talk to me about how you felt about that one. Let's start with Woods and Rey Mysterio.
First and foremost, I think seeing Rey Mysterio's mask come off, which I've only seen, I think, 2 times.
Two times, maybe two.
In my time as a wrestling fan, which is over 30 years. Was wild.
Insane. On a random Monday night.
Yeah. I'm a big Rey Mysterio guy. I met him in South Hills Mall.
Wow.
In Wappingers Falls in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Ray, do you remember this?
I remember. I met him and I didn't pay for the autograph, but I remembered that he drank Diet Pepsi, and I got into a Diet Pepsi habit for about 2 years because of Rey Mysterio. That's not a joke. That's not hyperbole. And I quit it, obviously. But man, it was. I'm a big Mysterio guy, and to see his mask come off was wild to me. I will say that when Woods decides to grab the mask, sees that he made the mistake, and the mask is in his hands, and he has that look of awe, and then still decides to roll him up for the win, that is straight. Like, he is about to begin his villain arc right now.
No,
dude.
he is. Listen, that proved to me that he's ready to be a solo guy. Let me tell you something. There's not many things that I would say you take your eyes off the prize for in wrestling when you're in a match, and that's not one of them. Listen, I get it. It was an accident. It is what it is. But you have a match to win, and you need this win bad. I love that he went for the pin after. It hurt my soul to see Rey Mysterio with his mask off. Like I said, I love Rey. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. But I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't proud of Xavier Woods rolling him up and pinning him 1, 2, 3 for that. I'm not gonna say that at all. He did what had to be done, and he did it. And you know, I don't think that it was unintentional. I think it was intentional. I think he's starting to be an asshole and an evil guy. Like, he's by any means. That's like, he was so desperate for a win that's what happened, dude. He was clawing at that mask. Like, we're not gonna pretend like it slipped off. Like, dude, you were gripping that mask and you ripped it off. Do not pretend. Like, I just feed into it. You want to be the guy that does whatever and wins it however you want. Be that guy. Don't pretend to not be that guy.
Embrace the dark side.
Embrace it. Embrace the dark side, says Darth Cyro.
Become Darth Woods.
Darth Woods. Oh, man, it's going to be epic. Dude, it was a very, very smart move by Xavier Woods. What wasn't a smart move by Xavier Woods was when the referee was distracted during Kofi Kingston's match against Chad Gable for him to grab Chad Gable's feet when Kofi had clear control. He's the one that threw Gable into those ropes to set up the Trouble in Paradise. And so he's the reason why Kofi lost. Kofi was sitting at the side of the ring, not even really acknowledging Xavier Woods. And that's the first time I've seen Kofi visibly frustrated with Woods.
So did Woods mean to take the mask off? You're saying yes.
Yes, I say yes.
Did Woods mean to trip up Gable, knowing that Kofi was had trouble in paradise, ready to send Gable to paradise?
I think that was a bang play, and he was just trying to do something. But it was just so unnecessary, and it showed a lack of faith in Kofi.
Okay.
So
the first one was purposeful, and the second one was insecurity. So we're starting to see there's a lot of shade. There's a lot of gray area now with Xavier. Okay,
and
let's see how Kofi reacts
in the back before that Kofi match. They were doing their little New Day Rocks, New Day Rocks, and nobody was chanting it in the arena. They did a little bit. They were chanting it when they were out there, when Kofi was fighting during his match, but they didn't chant it when Xavier Woods was trying to get it started in the back. I could see fans are starting to get sick of Woods. I don't like that. I don't think we should turn our back on Woods. I think we should embrace the dark side of Woods. This is going to be the championship that he's deserved for so long that he really just never got a chance at, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's getting a little wild. Seeing them go against each other is going to be a bittersweet moment, to be honest with you.
Wrestling's not about friends. It's not about making friends. It's about winning championships. And I think Xavier Woods is finally learning that lesson. It's taken him 10 years, but he's finally learned that lesson. He's good enough to win these matches. And now he has an IC title shot against Jay, I believe, on Raw next week. So we have Gunther, Sami, and Jay versus Xavier Woods. Next week's Raw.
Oh, they booked that for Raw? I must have missed it.
I have no idea. I know Kofi said he got him the match. I don't know if it's coming up on the 7th of Raw, on the 7th of October for Raw. So don't quote me on that, but I would assume if they said it this past Monday that's the foreshadowing for this Monday coming up.
Okay, well let's wait and see what happens on Monday the 7th. But on Saturday the 5th, we've got ourselves one hell of a Bad Blood PLE. Now on this special episode of WWP, our third episode, we are gonna go with another somewhat rapid fire. It's not a challenge, but we're gonna pass it back and forth, and I'd love to get your predictions on what's gonna happen on this Saturday's Bad Blood. I think that when let's go down just right, we have a 5-match card. Let's go down one by one, and I'd love to get your predictions. And also to our before we go to the first match, to our audience, thank you so much for listening and tuning in week after week. We appreciate every minute that you listen to us, and we love to hear back from you all on what you feel about the stuff we're talking about. Right? Is from Bronson and Braun and Seth Rollins returning to Owens and Cody's tension rising to Jay and the IC title. I want to know what you think about the new title. Please talk to us about who's going to win Gunther and Sami's match on Monday. Let's love to get your feedback. We love to see it, and I appreciate that we can maybe, if we get some good feedback, I'd love to cover that on a future episode. Let's see if your predictions come true. And I'll tell you what, if somebody predicts everything true, we ought to do a giveaway at one of these PLEs where we'll do send in your predictions. If you get every single one right, we'll do some kind of a cool little giveaway. We'll talk about that in the future. But
we'll get you guys a Carmelo Hayes chain.
Carmelo Hayes, there we go. So let's talk about the first match, not in any order. Let's just go with Cody and Roman on the unlikely tag team against the Bloodline. I'll let you take the floor and tell us what do you think is going to happen there.
Official prediction to line up with what I think is going to happen with Kevin Owens. He's going to come in, he's going to interfere, and he's going to beat the brakes off of everyone. And I think the Bloodline takes advantage, and they get the win here. They beat Cody Rhodes. They beat Roman Reigns. It'll be an insane moment. It shouldn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's what's going to happen. I'm going with the underdogs.
I'm going with the Bloodline as well. I think you're 100% correct. I think that they are going to win. How they're going to win, the circumstances that they win by, I think is going to be the name of the game and the name of this show. I want to see something related to Owens and a backstabbing, The Rock and a comeback potentially. Wow. I want to see another Bloodline member potentially joining. What I want to see is something that is out of the ordinary, and I don't want to see a 2 versus 2 match where it ends clean in the center of the ring.
You think we get a new Bloodline member?
I would love to see
That'd be
a
awesome.
Zilla Fatu or something like that. I would love to see somebody off of the bloodline come in and say we're getting bigger. And I don't know. Let's see what happens.
They kind of need one.
I can't wait. And if Cody Roman wins, that doesn't really give me a lot to look forward to. So that's that one. All right, next matchup. The battle between two former Judgment Day members, or one
Brothers.
Judgment Day member and a former Judgment Day brother. Damian and Finn. Now we know that they've went at it for months and months and months, even when Damian was still in the bloodline. The Judgment Day, and strongly in the Judgment Day. And we saw Balor kind of question whether or not he's as loyal as he claims to be or should be. What do you think happens here? I think personally, I'll just go first on this one. I think you're going to have Damian, because I'm a huge Damian fan. I think he's going to destroy Balor, but unfortunately, I think Balor's going to get some help from the Judgment Day. So I would say look out for the help Damian's going to get. I think Damian takes this match. What do you think?
So I like that you brought that up, because I think that I actually think this is going to be Finn Balor winning this one. And the reason why I think it's going to be Finn Balor is because you have, like you said, the Judgment Day are going to come out. They are going to do some stuff. We know Jey Uso doesn't have a match at Bad Blood, so he is free. So he might be there to save and help Damian Priest in that scenario, because we do know that they're very close. But I just in over his head. He's more dominant than any single one of those members, and he could probably beat them in a 1v2 handicap. But you're looking at like a 3-on-1 or a 4-on-1 even. It gets bad. It gets bleak for you at that point. I don't think he's going to be able to handle that onslaught, and I just think he's a little over his head right now, and I think Finn Balor wins that match.
It's a good take. I'll take it's a believable and predictable take. I chose a slightly unpredictable take because I want someone to help Damian.
I already went with the unpredictable take. With the Cody Owens bloodline.
I'll go with that one. I'll go with that one. What about the other Judgment Day member who is putting her title on the line against who should be the champion, Rhea Ripley? I don't even need to give you my prediction. You should know it's the most dominant woman in the WWE. It's Rhea Ripley.
Have been ruthless. Yeah, Rhea's winning this one. She's bringing the title back. Dom is going to be hanging from that shark cage. I can't wait to see it. It's going to make for a very fun time. I think Liv might be a little worried and concerned for her boyfriend, her daddy Dom, while he's hanging up there. And I think Rhea just absolutely obliterates Liv Morgan. And I don't listen. Liv is clearly scared of Rhea, and rightfully so. She is a psychopath.
I hope that Rhea kicks the blonde off of Liv Morgan, and Dominic doesn't even recognize her. That's how bad I hope that goes.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been bored with Liv.
What about the women's champion, Nia Jax, putting it up against Bayley?
Nia Jax. I think Bayley is good. She's good, but Nia Jax is on a different run right now, a different role. However, I think we see Tiffany Stratton cash in the Money in the Bank today at Bad Blood. I'm writing that down. But I think she fails. I think she cashes it, and she's the first failed cash-in women's Money in the Bank history. She's gonna lose it to Nia Jax, and it's gonna be the worst time of her life moving forward. She's gonna lose her best friend, who isn't really her friend.
No Money in the Bank briefcase. No best friend. Lost title shot.
Yeah, she's
Nia
gonna lose
Jax
it all.
walks out of Bad Blood with the title.
With the title, and still being the more dominant wrestler in the women's division, up there with Rhea as two of the most dominant in the division for sure.
I'm 100% with you. Big fan of the new Nia. I call it the new Nia. Love the new Nia.
Yeah, she's been on a tear, man.
She's unbelievable. Okay, and finally, what I hope to be the main event of Bad Blood. The Hell in a Cell match between Chicago's own CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I might be having a prediction that is surprising here, so I'm going to go second. Okay. What do you think happens? Who wins Who wins it? This is the end for them, I believe. Who wins the end? Who seals it?
Listen, I have a hard time saying anything but Drew McIntyre right now. I'm going to go with Drew. Listen, bigger, stronger, faster, better. everything. He has every advantage. They both have the same level of kind of chip on their shoulder that I've mentioned all the time, because that is a big deal when it comes to wrestlers. Who has more to gain, more to prove with this, and it's Drew, and he knows it, and they're locked in that cage, and it's going to be a bloody brawl, and I think Drew is just the Scottish warrior is going to hit him with like 5 claymores. That's my guess for how many claymores it takes to keep CM Punk down. It's going to take 5 minimum.
Let's ask our audience before I give my prediction. Also, we would love to know the number of claymores CM Punk will suffer from on Saturday's Bad Blood. That's an excellent piece of feedback. If you could drop a comment, we would be much appreciative. That's a good take. McIntyre takes it. Okay, here's my prediction, and it changes from what I've said in the past. So love the viewers, love you, love it all.
You're really flip-floppy with your predictions.
But here's the thing. Yeah, I'm a little flip-floppy on this week because I'm starting to see a different side. But I have explanations on this stuff, right? I said CM Punk in an underdog position doesn't win the match, and I stand by that. Except what we saw this past Monday, I saw a different CM Punk, and it wasn't the white pants. That's for AJ to enjoy. I saw a CM Punk who was determined to beat the shit out of Drew McIntyre and never look back. So I'm going with Chicago's own CM Punk. That's who I'll be rooting for on Saturday.
I'll be wearing my Best in the World shirt. I'll be wearing my Best in the World shirt that I bought from Fort Lauderdale in Monday Night Raw in Fort Lauderdale. I'll be wearing it. I love CM Punk, but I just, like I said, man, Drew McIntyre, different breed right now. And he looks like an absolute monster. And I think it's time for him to win it. And that is all we have for you guys today. We appreciate everyone for tuning in today and every other week. And we look forward to bringing you guys the best wrestling content on the planet. All WWE, all WWP, all the time, baby. We'll see you guys next week. You guys have a great one.
Thanks for listening.